Hello and welcome. It's time to hear what's on my mind on this episode of Trisha's 2 Cents Podcast. I'm your host, Trisha. The month of October has been designated as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. 1 in 8 women in the United States will develop breast cancer in her lifetime, and I am counted in that number. Remember when I told you my husband and I reconciled? Well, we were looking forward to a renewed life together. On our anniversary, we renewed our vows before family and friends. And then several months later, we went on a beautiful cruise from Puerto Rico to several islands in the Caribbean. A couple of months after the cruise, my life changed forever. Because I didn't have a previous family history, I started getting my mammograms at the recommended age of 40. The first few mammograms came back okay, but they always stated that my breasts were dense, which is very common in African American women. Before we renewed our vows, I was on a 6-month mammogram schedule because the radiologist had noticed changes with my left breast, and they wanted to keep an eye on it. We went on a cruise in August, and in September, I should have went to get my breasts checked again. But, they decided to wait until October so that they could get both breasts checked due to insurance purposes. Aren't you tired of insurance companies? I know I am, because they seem to have all the control over our health and when we can get the help that we need. When I went for my mammogram in October, I was told I needed a biopsy because they were not comfortable with how quickly the left breast had changed. After I received the news, I called my mother. I was crying hysterically. And not because it could have been cancer, but because ever since I was a little girl, I was terrified of needles. My biopsy consisted of me lying still on my stomach for about 3 hours, one needle after the next. But I made it through by reciting Philippians 4:13. I kept saying, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And of course, with the sweet nurses who would hold my hand and brace me for each needle. My biopsy was on a Friday, and on Tuesday, I was told I had breast cancer. And it was found early, and my survival chances were good, and this and that, and they kept going on and on about insurance, and my insurance will pay for this, and the doctor, how about doctor this, and this surgeon. And I just said, stop. Can we do this later? I just want my mother. Because how many of us know that no matter how old you get, there are times when you just want the comfort of your mother? Have you ever felt that way, where you just want your mother or the comfort of the person that you know is just going to hold you and say, it's going to be okay? When it comes to the decisions about your health, you are in charge. So I decided on 2 great surgeons who were very attentive and came highly recommended. But the final decisions about my care and my body were entirely up to me, not my husband, not my children, but me. So almost 3 years ago, I chose to have a double mastectomy. Now, sometimes people don't know what to say. I had a man tell me, they're just breasts. I had another man tell me, is there something else you could do? Aren't there other options? And he was talking about my mastectomy. The thing is, when someone is going through a diagnosis or an illness, you don't give your opinion on what their choice of treatment or make comments that are insensitive, because it doesn't help the cause. It's your body, your choice. My body, my choice. My recovery from surgery was in a few words or just one word, awful. The pain was worse than childbirth because childbirth is for a few hours. Afterwards, a beautiful baby, over. But recovery from the mastectomy is for a few weeks, along with drains coming out your body. And I was unable to use my arms for weeks because of the removal of the breast tissue, which lies between the collarbone and ribs, and it's from the side of your body to the breastbone in the center. So you can understand why it was so painful afterwards. Plus, I had tissue expanders to start my breast reconstruction, which was also my choice because some women choose to be flat, but that's their choice. Everybody has a choice. And I had complications after one of my surgeries, so I ended up having 3 surgeries within 6 months. And it really took a toll on me both mentally and physically. Because with the anesthesia and, surgery, and it takes a lot out of you. But even through all of that, I am thankful to God that I am alive and I am a survivor of breast cancer. And as a breast cancer survivor, I am dedicated to encouraging both men and women, because yes, men can get breast cancer too, to check your breasts and know your body. Pick a day out of the month so that you won't forget. They have an initiative called Feel It on the First. On the first day of every month, check your breast for abnormalities, because the earlier you find an issue, the better. And no one knows your body better than you. There is no better advocate for your body than you. Get your physicals and follow the recommended testing guidelines. Thank God I started at the recommended age of 40, like I said. Because if I hadn't and just waited until I had symptoms or my body showed symptoms that I could see, my diagnosis could have been much worse. And like I said, I didn't have a family history. So this was all a complete shock. I was the first. And now because of me, my daughter, and my granddaughter, and even my son will forever be tied to breast cancer. My breast cancer journey taught me what is really important, which is good health, and no amount of money can buy it. It taught me about people, both in a good way and not so good way. But I found out that I am surrounded by the best family and friends a woman could ever dream of. Take care of your body. Learn your body. Get the right doctor for you. And don't just focus on your breasts in October, but let every month be Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thanks for listening to Trisha's 2 Cents. Join me on the next episode as I give life lessons through my experience, my growth, and always from my heart. Make sure you subscribe on Spotify, Apple, or Google Podcasts, or your favorite listening platform.